the Village Council regular meeting, 7 p.m., Tuesday, January 14th, 2025. I'll stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice. Madam Clerk, if you could call the roll, please. Here. Yep.
Watson, Kemp. Yes. Nicosia.
Yes.
Ross. Here.
And I'll make a motion to excuse Morgan Helmut. Motion by Cook, seconded by Kemp. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any nay? Motion carries. Thank you. Next is item 4, approval of the agenda.
There are changes of the agenda. Second.
Motion made by Kemp, seconded by Ross. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any nay? Motion carries. Number 5, presentations. There are none this evening. Number 6, call to the public. If anyone would like to address council, please step up to the podium.
How about you over there? No.
Seeing no one approaching the podium, we will move on to the consent agenda item 7A, please.
Motion to approve consent agenda items A, receive and file items, correspondence letters and communication, and department reports.
Second.
Motion by Nicosia, seconded by Ross. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any nay? Motion carries. And motion is in order for 7B, please.
Motion to approve consent agenda item B, approval items 1, 2, and 3, in bills in the amount of $281.23.
Second.
Motion by Nicosia, seconded by Ross. Roll call vote, please.
Cook.
Yes.
Ross.
Yes.
Kemp. Yeah. Nicosia.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries. They are approved. Number 8, unfinished old business A, the Nota Board Council representative appointments. I believe we have a taker. Ashley, are you still okay with going that? Okay. So I will move to appoint Ashley Ross as Village Council's Nota Board representative. Support. Motion by Cook, seconded by Kemp. Any discussion? I think that is for, I'm trying to find my sheet. The
Or end of 2026.
2-year term. Okay.
What's that 3-year term? Yeah, I think that 3-year term is wrong because it says every 2 years after certified council person appointed. Let me check that. Yeah.
No, we don't have an alternate, but I think at least we have a member for now. So if anyone's interested in being alternate, let me know. Okay. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any nay? Motion carries. Thank you, Ashley. 8B, the DDA appointment. So I'll move to appoint Rod Charles as the at the Township of Oxford's recommendation for the seat that would replace Catherine Colden, who just finished her term. So this is a member at large seat, but Mr. Charles also satisfies one of the provisions under the DDA statute, but he is a business owner within the district. So my motion is to appoint Rod Charles, accepting the township's recommendation to the DDA board for a term of 4 years. Is that?
Yep. 4 years ending 12/31/28.
Okay. Is there a second? Okay. Motion by Cook, seconded by Ross. Any discussion? Okay. Hearing none. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any nay? Okay. Motion carries. So that takes care of. Yeah, I also just wanted to mention that Marie, our seat is expired, or she'll continue to serve until she's interested, so she'll just continue to serve until someone else is appointed. And then since Rod Charles moved into the space that was provided for Catherine Colvin for the township, Rod Charles' seat is now empty. So if there are any other applicants to the DDA, it would be great to consider them. 8C, the CDBG, I'm sorry.
And this is so if Marie is interested, then would she start a new term?
She would.
This year? Okay.
Yeah, so she could continue on and council could appoint her and then, yeah, she just keep on going for another 4 years. Yeah. Okay, 8C, the CDBG removal of architectural barriers door quote recommendation.
All right, council members, you see, this started this process last summer, gone through a couple iterations of it, with the bidding process, it's been really a chore to get people to show up and actually bid. Then the last bid we had, as explained in the memo, little snafu on the cashier's check for the pond. And other than that, I got back to the county, and the provisions now we're gonna operate under our, a different procurement method. So it would satisfy what we need to approve secure door at the amount of $11,930 as shown in the vote. I don't think it's reported anything. Okay. This is for these doors right here. It'll be a 2-swing door, brand new doors, new hardware, casings and everything. They'll be aluminum, so they'll stand up better to weather and salt. And only the one on the left here will open, because the other one, as it swings open, kind of gets in the way of the ramp if somebody was coming up the ramp. So save a little bit of money by not having them both open, but the reason for that is because the way it swings open kind of lacks the ramp, and we don't want it to necessarily be used as much. But as a matter of fact, Mr. Asemacher from Oakland County CDBG was here last week to do a follow-up meet and greet with Vicki, and so he knows fully what we're doing here, and we're okay with it.
Great. It seems to work out for the best in the end.
Yeah, long way to get here. Long way to get here, but yes.
Yeah. Any questions from council or need a motion?
Motion to approve the award of the new double doors with an automatic opener for the council chambers exterior entrance to the Secure Door LLC at the price not to exceed $11,930.
Support. Motion by Nicosia, seconded by Kemp. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote, please. Nicosia?
Yes.
Cook? Yes. Ross?
Yes.
Kemp? Yes. Motion carries, that is approved. Thank you. Thanks, Joe, for reaching out and getting that all taken care of.
Yeah. They're happy to see us go forward and spend money.
Yeah, that's great.
That's what I keep telling us.
Yeah. Okay, 8D is the DDA crosswalk and sidewalk repair project design and engineering proposal.
Yep, and I got a couple of memos in there. One that had the DDA in front of them 2 weeks ago, and then the most recent proposal to January 3rd from Roll that was by direction of the DDA board that evening, kind of spelled out their plan process. And a lump sum fee for the design engineering of $49,100. And if we can get that approved tonight, they can begin going forward with some of that process.
Actually, we went last DDA meeting when this was discussed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any thoughts or?
I think this makes the most sense. It throws in some, not throws in, but with the DDA, we're able to cover more infrastructure with this grant, doing it this way. And the DDA board seemed agreeable, made sense, so I thought it was a good move and kind of a win for everyone.
Yeah, I believe that it's about $231,000 or so, is the amount of the grant. What this really, I guess, approves is for Roy to go ahead and start the engineering services. So, if we want to start doing this spring, summer, where we want to go ahead and start that engineering work right now.
For the ARPA grant from the Main Street, is that where it came from? Yeah, that's the same one we done.
Yep.
And they're using like design engineering to cover that. And, I mean,
Well, the grant covers 40%. Some of the things we
Okay.
covered, some won't.
Gotcha. Yeah. So
structure than maybe necessarily imagined, but it's more cost effective to roll it all into one, and I think it all makes sense, so, and everyone agreed, so I think that,
The only thing outside of the original scope, when Pete and I walked it with Paul from Road, was the crosswalk thing at Mill Street. Other than that, there was a fair amount of work on the sidewalks, the old brick pavers and old tree wells from the intersection outward towards the crosswalk. There was a pretty large amount of that stuff that needed to be addressed, cracked, heaved, those replacing those old bricks with standard concrete. So it'll be quite an improvement.
There are a few things that are gonna change, like on crosswalks, for instance, so like some details, but other than that, agree with what's up the second.
Thank you.
what is the total amount that we need to make a motion for?
Right now, it's 29,100. Your motion was the 47,000, but that included engineering later for construction as well. Upfront design engineering is 29,100.
Okay, 100?
Yeah, it's on page 2 of the second memo, the January 3rd proposal. Okay. We had to go back and look at Vicky and I had dropped it. Go back and look at your motion for that week. Like, she had down 47. Gosh, 47. That was all total. That included construction engineering as well. We're not doing construction engineering at this point. It's design engineering and bid specs and bidding it out. All that stuff is rolled into this part. Construction engineering will come later. So that's why it's only 29 versus 47 that you had originally motioned was. If you added up going across, it comes to 47 under the engineering costs. We're utilizing all that right now. This proposal covers a portion of that work and a portion of that cost.
So do we need break this apart like that?
Nope, and they come back with a proposal then for, you'll have, he'll put the bid specs and bid it out, and then go through the bids, review them, and then help you guys award it to the contractor. At that point, they'll say, okay, now you need us to be on site and things like that. That's what some other costs will come in later for those on site items.
But tonight it's just a
Tonight, it's design and engineering and
29,100.
and doing the bid specs and bidding and all things like that. That's why it's about 18,000 less than your motion was, because some of that will come later on in the project.
Yes, maybe. I'll make a motion for Row to provide the services provided, not to exceed $29,100. Anything else with that?
Just put the memo proposal date of January 3rd.
Memo dated January 3rd, 2025.
That's good.
Motion made by Ross and seconded by Lucia. Any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote, please. Henry? Yes. Lucia?
Yes.
Cool. Yes. Ross? Yeah. Motion carries. Thank you. Number 9, new business A, the proposed resolution 2501 after the public medical mission contribution.
And this is something that we've been doing with communities across the state since 2011 when it first came out. The legislator did update it January 1 of this year, but it didn't affect the way we operate under this. So we're just going to continue our opting out of the 80-20 portion of that act, public act. It leaves us for our own devices than to manage our healthcare costs differently than that 80-20 split.
Hard to imagine, but the new legislation did make a lot of sense. Because it said one thing and then it said another thing, but after we look at it very closely, this provision was untouched. So your ability to opt out of being part of the 80-20 is still on the table. And you've done it,
I've been here for 7 years, and I've been doing it since 2011.
I think, since something came out, I think 2011.
Thank you. I'll move to adopt resolution 2025-01 as presented. Support. Motion by Cook, seconded by Kemp. Any discussion? Hearing none. Roll call vote.
Resolution phase means
Oh, I'm sorry. collection contract?
Yeah, so our contract is up, I think, September, end of September perhaps. And as you know, we had a change last July and there was a lot of consternation and hiccups, and I think it's kind of leveled off at this point. But rather than waiting till summertime and putting it out there and seeing where we're at, I would like to do it sooner rather than later, maybe in the next month or two, to put it out there and see what kind of place we can get. There's fewer and fewer players all the time. There's still a few locals around, but then there's some bigger players all Metro Detroit and across the state, Waste Management being one of them.
It's really a changing industry. I just finished Scioto, Pittsfield, Saline, Ypsilanti Township, and where as an array of RFPs, but where people, the number of entities that are responding to RFPs is getting lesser and lesser, as you know. You have some peculiarities based on where you're situated here that Joe mostly was thinking that we could start some dialogue with some smaller companies and some companies that aren't getting into the big bids and whatnot, and see where the market is. You want to give yourself time because the truck amortization ability is an issue, so you don't want to wait and try to get a good contract right when it's okay. We need it next month,
Right.
because they want to have time to have a contract and order trucks and whatnot. So
Okay.
it's something good. We should start looking into it now, as Joe suggested.
So you're saying send out request for proposal?
Probably not an RFP yet. I have a couple good templates that you can use for RFPs that have worked, and but I think what Joe was thinking is a good idea. Is we're just going to start some dialogue
Oh,
with some folks and see where the market is for us. Kind of you're actually a community, desirable community for waste collection, because you're kind of a rooftop cookie cutter type community, you know, and it's an easy route per se for some of these. So it would be a nice contract for somebody. So we're gonna see what we can do out there.
Yeah, and sorry, I had to quiet the mics down a little bit. And whether we do the full sealed bid process like that, I don't necessarily know. There's only going to be 2 or 3 probably we can get even interested in the work. And so maybe we'll just kind of reach out to them on a one-off basis, and bring something back to council. Maybe if not by the February meeting, but March the latest.
Do you think priority want to continue?
I would.
Even though-
I would think so.
Yeah,
I'm sure they'd love even more had the township gone differently and they got
they've settled into their new role after picking up all the asset purchase from GFL. They had some ruffles, newsworthy ruffles, and I sat through my share of trying to iron those out. And it's one thing about waste hauling, it's great. If you never hear about it, it's great.
Exactly.
The minute you start hearing about it, it's not good, because it's something that affects people's lives, and it can become a big issue in the community. You really don't want to get in that position.
I do think it's important in the discussions. I know during the previous discussions, it wasn't on council, but attended meetings and hearing residents. I think the recycling part, making sure that should be recycled, is a big topic for our residents, and they really want to make sure that whoever we end up with, that not only do we have recycling, but it's actually going to a recycling center.
Well, your this time your contract will designate the MRF to where the recycling has to go by contract. Fortunately or unfortunately, your state government's getting really involved right now on composting and recycling. They're issuing Part 1 duties and Part 115 to get some regulations on their MRFs and compost facilities. I think in your time on council here, you're going to be around to see kitchen waste, food waste from your residential kitchens to be included in your yard waste for composting. I'm a huge proponent of that because of the clogging of landfills with food waste. So most of my most recent contracts with communities have included kitchen waste going into the yard waste and into the compost facilities. So
Yeah, I wish I heard about that too, that would kind of, Birmingham really well said.
Birmingham, in my waste authority, Birmingham, Royal Oak, Ferndale, Hazel Park, that are progressively pushing me to
Yeah.
make sure in 27 the contract includes that.
Mhm.
But I think the governor is very close to making it mandatory. So Dana Nestle is really behind it.
I would definitely love to see kitchen waste included,
Mhm.
and if they are providing cans, can you request a more subtle color than right meandering?
Yeah, but if you get into a new contract and you're going to go cards, I mean, we have something. That's why Joel's wisdom of starting early is so good. It is because you want to have time. Most of them get their cards from a company called Cascade over on the west side, and you can have some control over that.
I think other communities are.
And we've been bargaining contracts recently to have choices on the size of we give everyone 95 to begin with.
You have to have chippers then, though. You have to have chippers.
Yeah, but
They're too big to pick
I
up.
know that's not the most important thing, but
Yeah.
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 So there's some issues that we can work through, but
Even if you do the small recycling bins. I mean, typically they want the company colors. Prayers are going to be bright yellow,
or at least a sticker.
Yeah.
So, I don't know that we need to discuss this here tonight, maybe a conversation, in the future. The contract downtown, that for all garbage pickup and collection and all that doesn't align with this at all.
Right, this is residential curbside.
That's separate.
Okay,
There's no way to do residential pickup in the downtown for the apartments that are upstairs and stuff.
yeah, so is there gonna be a solution for that? I mean, because they're kind of
Separate contract.
Yeah, to answer your question, no. Won't be a solution as far as residential curbside. They're only going to, the option they have will still be take walk out to the dumpster, throw it in there. Again, when we're looking at the DDA as a whole district, from the south to the north, and then a little bit of these weird spots over Lafayette, we're on the cusp of maybe having 100 residents, so it's a small amount of residents in that. And then even smaller amount of that is what's in the garbage collection district that they have designated here in Village. There's a map in the ordinance and spells out where the garbage collection district is, I think it is, they can describe it. And it's by street and by how many feet, whatever, in the downtown that are serviced by those cans. That won't change. But I know I have at least one downtown resident who may or may not bring their recycling, put their cans out front.
So on your, because I know you're really wanting to talk about food waste, and the question becomes, what do you do when yard waste is seasonal, right? So what we've done in the community is we have strategically positioned dumpsters just for the food waste during the time when there's no yard waste collection. So it's very difficult from a behavior standpoint to change what people are doing. I mean, if you change what's recyclable and the world starts to shake, right? So you don't want to get a behavior of doing food waste and then cut it off for 4 months out of every year because you're not doing.
Yeah.
Not supposed to put food waste in compost.
As your lawyer, I'm advising you not to.
Here's the thing, in our contract, it's called yard waste.
It's just yard waste.
It's yard waste. It's not, they take it and turn it into compost.
And then what we've done, the way we've handled that. So you're asking a good question. It goes to the definition of what is yard waste. So yard waste now includes the organics from kitchen scraps.
I mean, if you have a garden in your yard, it would be.
Right.
You
Same
can put your
thing.
stuff in your garden.
Right. You're just eating part of it. And your point is well taken because landfills are clogged with about 23% of landfills are taken up yearly by food waste.
I think it helps reduce methane, though.
It does,
Power plants.
but the waste diversion is the word.
Yeah, I know.
So
That's what we go for. Rather than trying to capture it as it breaks down, they just put it where it belongs. It's better, do a better job. See them break down.
Yeah.
Anyways, Joe and I will spend some
So,
time.
and that's the thing, we would have to determine what kind of spec we want. Do we, if you were to ask, do you want to have the 95 gallon tippers that everyone has to have? They have to buy them, or I like to say, what's really common is people have their own trash can, and they have a small recycle bin. And that's really just, I know the most common, because then you have the ability to just pick it up again. Once you go to the 95 gallon jars, they have to have the different mechanisms on the truck.
Right.
And it just makes it a little more difficult to buy a bigger truck or different trucks. Maybe somebody won't bid on it because they don't have tippers, they don't want to buy a tipper truck, just this one route or something like that.
A lot of smaller, tighter communities aren't always in favor of the big.
Yeah.
Because, you know, people don't put them away right away, and then the community, I had to do a contract up in Franken, and it was absolute, there can be no carts. And you'd be surprised, say, why wouldn't you want carts? Well, they want the trash gone. Because they're a destination, recreation city, right? You don't want cars sitting all around. And they demanded no cars.
My mom's 94, she has like one bag a week, she puts this huge cart outside that thing out there, and it's got one bag in the bottom. It's just kind
So
of-
we'll work through, that's why we want, just to let you know, Joe's alerting you wisely that we're gonna start talking about this.
I do think with a high rental population as well, where there's more transition, I have found it to be extremely helpful to not have necessary limits on amounts. We'll say that.
Yeah.
And obviously the balancing costs.
Yeah.
And I like contracts where whatever's put out, you take.
The caveat to that typically is when somebody moves out and then comes in and fills up half this room up to the curb, that's typically unacceptable to the hauler.
Yeah.
It's, you know, hey, you throw a mattress out, the next week you throw a couch out, next week you get a
We
place, that's fine.
usually have twice a month, you know, wake good days where you can put it out.
You can call our provider right now. and tell
Yeah,
them.
and you schedule like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But those are scenarios where it's your common use. It's just say, I just had to be cleaning up my garage. But when the landlord comes in and there's an apartment and they went to evict someone over 8 months and the people just left the house full of stuff, and next thing you know, there's 40 yards
all
of
up.
stuff,
Yeah, it's not.
and it's not backed up nicely. That's what they call a sheriff eviction, something like that. And they said, book sending out to the road, that's unacceptable to almost every hauler. So it's those are the ones you have to say, that they're not going to want that. The normal situation where it's a household and, you know, you get, you know, 2 new mattresses for your kids, so you put one out 1 week, one the next, or next week it's your a new couch, and next week it's, you got 20 bags of garbage.
We would
That's normal.
have a bulky item wake good provision.
But it's the landlord share eviction that ones that they're not up for.
All right, that was just information.
Thank you. Any further questions or discussion at the moment? Okay. We will move on to 9C, the special event application for Goddard's pre-K graduation. That's something else, Parker. Let's do an annual thing, make sure you get your application out early.
So just to say, boy, they are not late.
No.
It's almost 6 months from now.
Mhm.
But after, you know, a couple years ago, they had a little conflict with somebody else.
Yeah.
So they have everything in order. I don't have a check up there, but matter of fact, their insurance, we still have them actually renews in like April. So if they didn't want to get it now, we'll wait till it renews and then get it from the current one versus having one here that can be expired by the time this gets approved or happens.
Motion to approve, special event application by Goddard. Second.
Special event application 2501.
Motion by Sophia, seconded by Kemp. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Nay, motion carried. That's approved. Next is the memo from our treasurer, the tax collection summit by the village. The costs are going up and we can do it ourselves, I see.
Well, and right now, we're doing a lot of it,
Mhm.
and, talking to the county and everything, I already got my list of classes that I'll be taking at the county, I got that yesterday.
Great.
I don't see why not, that's why I started me too, I don't see why I can't do it. The county's gonna come here and help me, I'm gonna go to those classes, because they're going with me. She already collected so that stuff was gonna take out steps for her. And save us a lot of money.
Yeah.
The only thing I asked for that I can buy a folding machine.
Yeah.
For paper, so.
Right, yeah.
Because she's thinking we want to print and mail it all. So before we would pay local community schools, whatever, we'd send them, we'd pay them $500 to print and mail and stuff.
Right.
She's thinking, well,
We're still
why
paying,
don't we buy our folder, we just print them in-house. It's not
I
like
talked to-
20,000.
I talked to Vicky and Kim, they said they'd help me stuff and do all that stuff too, so.
Great. Excellent.
Does that mean our residents are sending the checks here? Or
Yeah.
You
are.
already-
They already do, you're doing 3/4 of this already.
It was just the southern part with the county.
And
that-
the township, you know, charges you and does a little,
He's still gonna have to do a lot of the, split, you know, I think he does like a lot of the, when the new resident comes in, you have to see all your paperwork there, that kind of stuff. I will be part of that, stuff, there's so that at the county level too. So he's still gonna have to work with me. He just won't be doing that. part of
you
it.
save some money.
That's great, thank you.
You're welcome. So you-
I will make a motion for our village treasurer to take on responsibility of collecting and controlling the village taxes.
Motion by Rob, seconded by Nicosia. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any nay? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next 9E, open burning ordinance review. Next, we have Chief Majestic here, too, which is great.
Yeah. And, this is something that Chief and I discussed months ago, and, as my backburners got a little emptied out, I was able to address it again. I heard enough to go work on that sidetrack. He'd like to see ours as mirror as closely as possible to the township. They don't issue permits anymore, and if you want to expand on, I have a copy of the township ordinance in here, I have a screenshot of your website, talks about burn permits, and that they still have to call, things like that. Our ordinance is kind of old and clunky. It talks about,
That was nice. Way to put it.
it talks about open burning is allowed when you have over an acre, but we have very few parts that are over an acre,
Right.
and we have different ones, it just,
Okay. Yeah, I mean, our ordinance, I think, needs to be, I mean, it's not well written at all. And so, I think the townships is well written. It's my initial concern, I maybe can hear from Chief about this, is just given the difference in property size from the township to the village, is there a way to safely maybe expand some of the distances, or, I mean, reduce some of the distances per village homes, because it may preclude really anyone from having like
Yeah.
a bonfire.
you have a
or-
40-foot one or something, and it's over an acre, it's 50 foot.
We do for larger pieces of property, but the properties that fall within the village wouldn't meet that need. None of them would meet it. Right? You know, I mean, what we're,
Would you mind coming up to the podium, Chief? Sorry. I think we might have a bunch of questions.
I thought you guys had a thing where it's 40 foot from a building, or 50 foot from a building, if it's less than an acre, or something like that.
Oh.
I think they're all.
they, you know, what it really comes down to is, yes, we want people to have a backyard bonfire and, you know, do their Friday night, Saturday night, right? And with the little burn pits that they have, the store-bought commercial, those are great. We have no issue with that. What we don't want is somebody cutting down a tree here in the village and deciding to burn the whole thing rather than having to dispose of the property. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
Right? We're just trying to be safe. And right now, the only thing that we also do, as Mr. Commodore talked about, we eliminated the burn permit process. We still maintain the phone number. If we have high winds, excessive dry periods, we turn it off. And it's just the person calls in, it said, no burning today. And that's it. Other than that, you know, we're not charging for permits anymore, we're not issuing permits anymore. It's just, it's antiquated.
So people will be expected to know to call before they, just to see if there's.
Everything that was in place with the permits
Right.
remains in place, with the exception of an actual permit, and they still, even before, they still had to call the number.
Right, just to let you know
Yeah.
that there was a fire
So
there.
now they call the number and it says, okay to burn, or it says burning is shut down for the day or for the nothing has changed on the part of the resident.
Yeah, personally, I've done that. Every time we do call, and I have heard it say, you know, like, prefer name. Okay, so that is really helpful.
Question to that. I absolutely agree on our current one, we love updating. I have a couple questions. Our current one is 25 feet from any structure, and the state is at 15 feet for those portable ones. I don't know how that works for a lot of these properties. Like, I think I might have one spot on my property that would then be allowable. 25 left is not allowed anywhere on my property to lawfully burn.
So if you got one of those above ground stand-up things, then you reduce it to 15 feet.
Correct.
Right.
But I'm saying even 15 feet from any surrounding structure
It's tight.
is very tight for a lot.
Nope, it's structured.
Combustible material and structure, combustible material and lot lines.
Oh, wow.
So the 15 feet allows,
It's already reduced, but I'm sorry, if you don't have the space,
well, so
there's a reason we have this, right? You know, so we don't want people burning their neighbor's house down.
I don't
We
understand.
literally had that happen last year in the township, down on the west end of the town, west end of the township. And somebody started a fire and neglected to stay with it, and next thing you know, their neighbor's fence and shed is on fire. Because they didn't pay attention to it, and didn't keep staying on top of it. And, you know, if you're in a space that you don't meet the requirements, you don't meet the requirements, you shouldn't be burning. And it's sad, I hate to say it that way, it'd be as blunt as it is, but that's why we have ordinances. We don't want people burning their neighbor's houses down, or their houses down, or their sheds, or their garages. It's that simple. We've got to reduce already.
15 foot's pretty small.
Yeah, 15 feet is very small.
I mean,
How far is the back wall from this wall, do you think?
30 feet.
35, 40 feet.
You could have one in this room. If this was your backyard.
how much of an issue is it right now? Like, how is this currently?
Look, here's the thing, we have ordinances for a reason. We will end up enforcing the ordinance when we receive it. If a person is, like, I don't have the staff to be sending guys out checking neighborhood bonfires on Friday or Saturday night in the summer. It's just not, we're not doing that. So here's what it comes down to. You can have your fire. You can do what you're going to do. If it gets out of hand, it creates a problem, and we come out, you're going to get a fine from the police department. If you cause damage to somebody's property, you're going to be responsible.
What about on events like Halloween, for example, when you have people out in front yard having fires? I all of these are intermittent. I think this is terrible already.
We aren't the fire pit, bonfire police. We're the fire department. If something gets out of hand, we're going to do that. Right? We're not out to mess with people's Halloweens. Please don't start that. My goodness. I mean,
And remember, I try to ask all the questions
you
because it's all.
will be hard pressed to see us out on Halloween doing that when we're doing other things. Right? And we have to, we're not going out checking people's bonfires in their driveway with the fire pits. That's part of Americana. If, now, again, if something happens and somebody gets hurt, something gets burned, property gets damaged, that person will be held responsible. It's as simple as that. You still have to be safe and be good neighbors to your neighbors. But again, we're not out to try and go after people. It's not.
All in all, I think a lot of the ordinance makes great sense. There was some things towards the end of it, as far as cost of everything like that, we would have to maybe meld in with ours or something like that, but not that it's gonna change, but maybe just tweaking wording, because the references your ordinance and ours might reference a chapter or charter or something like that.
It seems like we could tailor it
you need the assistance from other communities, they're gonna send us the bill.
Yep.
And we forward that out, and it's based on the county, mutual aid associations, agreements. So that's out of our hands, that's it.
Also, I was thinking about if they reference something in there, references like a township ordinance or something like that, we just gonna make sure that ours doesn't reference the township ordinance, right? Irrelevant.
Overall, I'd like to see our ordinance be as close to the township as possible, just for ease of implementation across Oxford. But
Very,
maybe
very possible.
we can give that back,
Yep.
and we can bring something back to council.
Yeah, we don't have anything for you tonight to approve, we're just kind of broaching the subject tonight, highlighting the areas that stick out on ours, and how, by highlighting on ours, it kind of points out how, again, old and
Mhm.
just clunky it is.
Yeah.
Just curious, what is your opinion on burning leaves? And why you would or would not want to do that?
Doesn't the state of Michigan frown on that as far as pollution?
Yeah, that's our burden.
I've always told people, no, we're not allowed, typically.
Yeah, it's a nightmare. It's an absolute nightmare.
It's a nuisance.
Those fires get out of hand more than anything.
And people leave them on
And these two guys were here doing the exact same thing. One right here on, actually, it was actually back on Seymour Lake, just outside of the village, just before you get to the lakes. So they decided to burn it, and now next thing you know, we actually almost had a car accident because there's so much smoke coming across the road.
Yeah.
So no, that's why they're unsafe. They get out of hand quickly. Even if you're there, you know, as a good homeowner with a hose nearby, once it gets big, your hose isn't going to do anything. We're seeing that in California.
Mhm.
A garden hose doesn't do anything. Just provide the volume or the pressure. That's why we stay away from burning leaves. It's just not safe.
Makes sense. Thank you.
People only get it, and I get it. It's not safe.
I'll remind them just.
Did you say I don't burn mine? I think you said I don't burn mine.
No.
Or I don't burn
We're
mine.
not the so-called fire police, like I said, we are the fun of
Good deal.
Well, that was the reason to put it on the agenda. I know it was months ago that you put me, and I called BJ last week, talked to him a little bit about it. I let him know it was to be on here. So,
I think that's great. If we could get something approved for next month, if it's in order to go, that'd be great. Thank you.
All right.
So, you know, there's still references.
yeah, we're just gonna make sure. As much as you'd like to just vote for it. Yep.
Yeah, thank you. Any other discussion on okay. Tonight we have no items removed from the consent agenda, so we'll go to the second instance of public comment. Anyone want to speak on public comment? Seeing none, we'll go to committee reports. Noda, I'm not sure if Noda has back. No, do you,
Thursday this week, there'll be no meeting.
this Thursday, okay.
I'm gonna try and make it. I'm sure.
I'm not sure if they met in December or not.
Yeah, okay, no worries. Yeah, we'll catch up whenever we get to the next meeting. And then the planning commission and cable commission is low, she's absent. Did the planning commission meet? No, okay. TDA, she got
Can you go on? Well, I'd like to give you a chance to go over any major things. Then also anything that I remember.
Yep, I took a look at the meeting from last, just to kind of, at that point, we had the Fuller Express and the Holiday Market still to come. Events, they did go very well. I don't know if anyone heard, but we had a snafu with the trolley, so Wayne Warren unfortunately did not get to utilize the trolley for their Trolley Express event. We, however, did, so we got very, very lucky, and it turned out very, very well. A lot of positive feedback. What I've spent most of my time since our last meeting has been around organizational sustainability. So really looking at our processes, procedures, documentation, and preparation for our accreditation coming up next month. And accreditation, and then staffing. So I've gone through a series of interviews,
And that's on the bid,
pardon me,
is that on the bid?
February with the accreditation, yeah. And I'll send the agenda out, so I know that they'll want to have an opportunity to speak with multiple people that are involved with the DDA. So if you can make it, that'd be wonderful. We had some new board members, so that's been exciting. We've had some of those new board members attend board training, and we talked about having more of an informal in-house training process for our board, just to get on the same page when it comes to strategic planning for 2025, just making sure everybody knows what their roles and responsibilities are and how to proceed for the next year. I've met with a couple of business owners in the area. Their gate is reopening or has reopened over the last week, so that's exciting. One drop will be reopening in spring.
We gotta work out the bugs maybe there.
Okay.
I was forgetting that in the village, just think it's so far.
I told when I met with the owner,
Yeah.
forgotten that there's no part of us. So, yes, somewhat same owner. Same location. Yes, yeah. And then we have another one coming in tomorrow for someone that wants to open a business within Oxford. So some good meeting greets with that. And then the trial is in board maintenance currently. So I want to meet with the mechanic group to see where we're at with that, really taking a look legitimately under the hood and understanding the workings of the trolley to understand what we're looking at longer term. Our committee is doing an analysis right now around cost and return and what would make the most sense from a ridership standpoint and a cost standpoint. I will say, although it's kind of funny with the timing, but we have gotten some interest and positive responses in regards to sponsorship for the trolley for 2025, so that's encouraging. So I think that we'll figure something out. I may not look exactly like it looked in 2024, but I do imagine that we'll have some movement around.
Will our Lake Orion also be bringing funding for the trolley this next year as well, or is that?
That's TBD. So they are currently also going through kind of a reevaluation in 2025 with their board, and looking at what they want to spend their funding on. We talked about, maybe taking a step back from partnering on events only and really looking at business development as well in 2025. So from a financial standpoint, they want to understand what the results of our analysis are when it comes to the trolley, look at the sponsorship opportunities and look at what the cost would be from a consistent standpoint over the next 9 months. They have not said anything at this point.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Do you have anything you want to add?
I'm trying to think if there was anything. No, I believe that's we already discussed the project up here, so thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Andrea, that's good.
Yeah, because of the holidays and stuff, I didn't make the summer meeting, and I think tomorrow, my meeting is tomorrow after Belgium. You gonna make it? Okay, all right.
Thanks, Jeff. ZBA, I assume it's not met.
Correct.
Did
Great, thanks. And then manager, clerk, staff, attorney reports. Mr. Morrow?
Yes, Chief Stoll, as you know, his father passed away last week, and then he was sick this weekend, and he's back today at about maybe 50% capacity, so he's kind of was squirreled away in his room. That's why he's not here tonight. So he's on the mend, both, with family and sickness as well. John Knowles, who's been on our planning commission, and I think he was on the DDA maybe at one time. No, planning commission for a lot of years. He, a lot of changes coming his way in his family. Might be out of town a lot next year, helping his father's in Indiana, so he resigned today from the planning commission.
Oh, it's too bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. He was in the office today, getting a letter. We talked about it a bit. His place can be full still, just in a lot of different things going on. So we will have a vacancy in a minute. And I briefly mentioned, and Kimberly, I know you and I spoke briefly, and I mentioned to council tonight as well, that perhaps trying to find a time in February where the DDA and the council would meet as a joint workshop, budget workshop session, something like that. Maybe in the middle of the month, maybe the end of February, I don't know. I don't know what nights work better for people. we'll have to get an idea of some of those. And the only thing on the agenda that night would be just, we'd sit in the community room, I'll sit around the table and just talk about overall budgets and things like that, I think.
Question on that. So, DDA's work committee seems to be the one that puts the budget together. I don't know if that's gonna be the same this year or not, but would they, I know they could attend the meeting as public, but how could or could they not participate in the budget discussion
I think it should be like just a direct session. We both posted as a meeting, we're both all there.
with the work committee members as well, though?
Oh, well, I
They're
mean,
the ones who've done-
they could be there in attendance, of course, but, you know, the meeting is the meeting with the members that are there.
Could the work committee members contribute at all?
I suppose that's up to the chair who's running the meeting.
Okay.
Perhaps it could be you and or whoever their chair is.
Yeah, I'd like to run a meeting.
Yeah.
I was just curious as to like, I don't know, I guess something we can really think about.
Yeah. Well, again, and some of the court or committee members have been on it a couple years, so they're familiar with it. Some, in some sense, are more familiar with it perhaps than the regular members. And then we have a couple of newer members too, but so Troy is brand new. So I think it's a good opportunity for all DDA members to sit at the table and go through this process. We can kind of go through it in a way, even if we spend 5 minutes and here's how we go through our line, cost center, and this is how we go through it. And then have a larger discussion about, you know, budgets and overlaps and things like that, and cost sharing costs, things like that. And then I think they amongst themselves should probably come up with the idea that, you know, that's a better process, that we should implement that process ourselves, and not just leave it up to 2 DA members and 3 or 4 committee members to do all that work. And again, if they did all the work preliminarily and they brought it back to the DDA in April and brought it back to the DDA in May, and, you know, that'd be different. But I if you recall last year, it was like back on Friday, meetings Monday, and we're going to prove our budget. And you know, you had 3 days as a member not on that committee to see the budget and get any questions answered, and then whether we were approving it in 3 days. So I think that it'll be a good time to meld together, talk about the bigger picture, the overlaps, the caution, whatever that we have done in the historically, and then I think find a better process.
That'd be great. Thank you.
I should.
Yep.
All right, so, this has been really good for me. I'm loving working here. I just want to say thank you again, everybody, for giving me the opportunity. I've been spending the last month working on what it would take me to take over the taxes and stuff like that. So I've been talking to a lot of people at the county and different treasurers and stuff like that to kind of get an idea, going through our ordinance and stuff like that. And I met with the CDBG, I say that wrong, but for like 2 hours last week, they did like a 101 kind of thing, walk me through the whole process and how they work and where those funds come from, you know, that kind of stuff. So that was quite interesting. I was glad they came and did that with me, because I'd never heard of it before. We never utilized it in my township and that, so that was good. I got myself registered for class for the treasurers for the Basic Institute and that, and I'm going to a workshop in Lansing for Thursday and Friday. I'm also going to the county Thursday morning for that class. You know, it's the supplement that's to start those classes for this year. Hopefully, get me ready to be. So other than that, that's all good.
Wonderful. Thank you.
I have nothing of that magnitude.
Maybe a picture of that.
I'm sitting there trying to think of something that could parallel that, but no, congratulations
Thank you.
on all of that, and we're good. I'll advise you if I hear of any legal issues that you need to be focused on.
As always, thank you.
Just back up, it's like, I know I put it up beforehand, I put it on Facebook, I said, I might have shared, and I had a memo in there about the EV stations downtown.
Oh, yeah.
So luckily, you know, we kind of were in a little limbo for a while. I noticed that the handles have been changed out even before I got that email, so I finally got the email, like, okay, so something is happening there. And again, we didn't fund them, we didn't, we don't manage them, so it's great. We're the best of both worlds. We didn't put any money. So I don't have all the details of what platform it could be at, but I'm sure once that's out there, people will connect to them and realize what platform they have to have, whatever. But I'm just very thankful that they're just going to sit there and with bags over them for the next 6 months. That even if it's going around today and pulling the bags off, with the bags for the reserve parking we had on there for I don't know, a month and a half or so. So hopefully that'll be right back in and be
notifications back on the agenda.
Oh, yeah, because texting.
I think it probably fell.
Yeah, I kind of had one picked up, and I had one picked up, and the one I was kind of like was their base of England and stuff. Like, I really don't want to do that. Some of me see you read them, some kid like, well, yeah, call it code, different country and everything. I'm like, no. Because some of them, again, are something that are smaller, they're usually hundreds of dollars. So once that you one, if you can, we'll work it out. And something else came up just recently, and I thought that'd be a good way for them to maybe let it choose for somebody else outside of us. I can't recall what it is off the top of my head, but it makes sense.
I'll just mention that, since we do have a open planning commission seat now and potentially two TDA seats, if anybody is aware of anyone who might be a good fit for any of those, please let me know. Perhaps we can do some kind of advertisement or something, to solicit some applications too. And then Joe and I think I mentioned this before, but there's a monthly Oxford Leaders meeting where Joe and I and Chief Sobel, Chief Majestic, Budget Supervisor, Clerk, gosh, who else? OCTV, librarian, superintendent, school board president usually attend a monthly meeting every month. And there is one Thursday. It's canceled.
There's only like 4 people.
Oh, okay. So I couldn't attend it, but I tried
You
to.
were one of the good.
Yeah, I tried to attend all the whole bill from Parks, and so we rotate locations. If anyone ever interested in attending those, I think that any of the council members would
Sometimes always one place.
sit in, but it's
8 o'clock.
yeah, 8 to 9. Sometimes it runs over at varying locations within Oxford in general, and it's really great to connect with schools and fire and like everybody sheriff's office over there. So if anyone comes up interested, let me know. But otherwise, I'll continue to try to attend those. And then just I'll bring back any information I learned to my
I
comment.
think it was out of me, Jack, Phil.
Okay, yeah. So,
You were out, right? Yeah. And I can't believe it was we found it positive also. But everyone else was like, nothing negative. Like, yeah.
So, and no lines for sure. So,
Saturday night.
that's all moved to address 79. It's like a record. There's a second. All in favor, say aye.